It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. My name is Spencer, and this is episode F243, and this episode is airing on my birthday. I still got, 4 or 5 weeks from the time of recording to celebrate my birthday, but let's do a little pre-celebration. It's my birthday. Celebrate me. I'm gonna celebrate me. I'm gonna go probably get a good meal on that day, and that's it. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna eat all day. Who knows? I usually don't do anything too crazy. All right, let's get into the words on this birthday episode. We have the second form of the word function. This is a verb from 1856. Boy, I wish we had different words on my birthday episode. Let's see. So, it's intransitive. Number 1. To have a function, the synonym is serve, as in, an attributive noun functions as an adjective. The attributive noun functions as an adjective. I don't know what context that's talking about. I don't really know how a noun is an adjective. I'm sure there are clearly contexts where this happens, but I don't know. I don't have an example for you. So we're going to move on to number 2. To carry on a function or be in action. To carry on a function or be in action, the synonym is operate. Maybe not operating on a table, I don't think. Maybe in the math world. It's operating, it's functioning. All right, let's make a sound effect. Let's do something weird and fun. Is there something for my birthday that I did the woohoo. I thought just a weird sound would be. Now we have functional. You can do it 2 syllables or 3 syllables. Functional, functional. Adjective from 1631, number 1A, of connected with or being a function. 1B, affecting physiological or psychological functions but not organic structure, as in functional heart disease. Functional heart disease affects its physiological or psychological, but not the organic structure. So I don't really understand. Is it that the heart is not being affected in this context? It's not the organic structure. This one's confusing to me. It's so confusing it makes me tired. Number 2. Used to contribute to the development or maintenance of a larger whole. WHOLE, a larger whole, as in functional and practical school courses. So they are used to contribute to the development or maintenance of a larger thing. School courses, these functional school courses, they're used for the development of, the whole thing, probably all of the school children or the people in the school. It's functional and practical. I really like practical things. Practical and functional. Also, we got more. Designed or developed chiefly from the point of view of use. Right, so it's all about how is this thing being used, not is it decorative or whatever, right? It's all about how it's being used in the real world. It's function, so it's functional. And number 3, performing or able to perform a regular function. Yeah. Functionally is an adverb, and we talked about the etymology in the previous episode, all about performing and enjoying and that sort of stuff. Yes, because if it's performing an action. All right, moving on to functional calculus, noun from 1933. The synonym is predicate calculus. No clue. I got no clue. Functional food, noun from 1988. The synonym is nutraceutical. All right, so this is making me think of pharmaceutical, but it's nutraceutical, so it's like nutrition. They're right. There's all those nutra things in there, and so, but it's like maybe from a medical standpoint because it's pharmaceutical plus nutra, and it's functional food. So is this just really food that is good for your health? That it helps your body function? I mean, there are definitely foods that are not that. All of this processed stuff with artificial dyes and fried things and all those are probably not functional food. They're not providing you really with a whole lot of nutrition. They're good, but not for your body. All right, moving on to functional genomics, noun from 1995. It is a branch of genomics, or do people say genomics? I don't know. Genomics. That uses various techniques to analyze the function of genes and the proteins they produce. And examples of these techniques would be RNA interference and mass spectrometry. And I wonder if this whole genomics world has even changed since this book was written. Because we got science and we are doing different things now. So yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Let's put a link in the show notes for functional genomics. I don't really know what are they doing? I don't know. They're analyzing the function of genes and the proteins they produce. They have the technology to look at how the genes are functioning and being used and what they're producing. Interesting. Functional group, noun from 1906. A characteristic reactive unit of a chemical compound, especially in organic chemistry. And oh, you can bet your bottom dollar I didn't do no organic chemistry. I barely did the regular chemistry. But yes, they have functional groups in organic chemistry. It's a characteristic reactive unit. Okay, moving to functional illiterate. Noun from 1946. This is a person who has had some schooling but does not meet a minimum standard of literacy. Functional illiteracy is a noun, and functionally illiterate is an adjective. So, that you don't meet the minimum standard of literacy. I wonder what that is. What is the minimum? Well, like, oh, I know the word cat, but I don't know the word puma. I don't know. So you're getting by. You're getting around the world. You're doing your thing. You are functioning in the world, but you are technically illiterate, which means you can't read. You don't meet the minimum standard of literacy. Interesting. Yeah, never heard of this. How many functional illiterates are there? There must be plenty of people out there who just still don't know how to read, even a quarter of the way into the 21st century. There are still people around the world who don't know how to read, who don't meet the minimum standard of literacy, and I think we got to change that. My grandma, she in her older years, retirement time. She never really worked anyway, but when she was in her older years, she was helping adults to read. That was one of her passions, getting adults to read. And she made some amazing progress. And one of her students ended up writing a book, I think, about his story, his life, his dad maybe. So yeah, let's get people to read. Functionalism. This has a number of definitions. Functionalism, noun from 1914. Number 1, a late 19th century to early 20th century American school of psychology concerned especially with how the mind functions to adapt the individual to the environment. And it's as compared to the first definition of the word structuralism. So I need some more information. Let's see. Okay, so we got the time period. It's an American School of Psychology. And what were they doing? They were concerned with how the mind functions to adapt the individual to the environment. So when an individual goes into an environment, a new environment, maybe when they're born into an environment, how does the mind and the brain adjust, change your thoughts, your personality, your body maybe, to adapt to that environment? Functionalism, how it's adjusting it to make you function in a different way. It's a school of thought, I guess. Is it an actual school where people go to, or is it just like, oh, these are the functionalists think this? Who's right? Are they right? Is there arguments about this? I don't know anything about this world. Seems interesting. I don't know. Let's put a link in the show notes for Functionalism, this American School of Psychology concerned with these things. Yeah, if you have a background in psychology and you know something about this, feel free to email and leave a voicemail. Do whatever you got to do. Teach me some stuff. Number 2, a philosophy of design holding that form should be adapted to use, material, and structure. And this design world, this philosophy, is probably in architecture. So when people are designing buildings and they want to do it in the functionalism style, or use this philosophy, it's saying that the form of the thing, the building, should be adapted to use, material, and structure. So how does this all work? That it has to function in a certain way. That what's the thing about the materials? How is it used? I don't know. I don't really understand how this ends up being a thing. I don't know. Let's look up pictures of functionalism architecture, because maybe that'll help me understand it better. But it seems like it's got to function in a certain way. Oh, Christ, crub. I lost my thing. Here we go. Architecture. That's the one I want. It emphasizes practicality. Yeah, that is a really good word in this context. Practicality and utility. It needs to be practical. It needs to be used in a certain way. Then more about function than form, or less about the look of it and more about how it's being used. Right? Yes. Design choices driven by the intended function. What is the intended function of the thing? And then let's design something for that function, rather than the decorative elements. Yes. This style, prominent during the modern movement, prioritizes simplicity, efficiency, and the use of modern materials. Here we go. Now we got materials like steel, concrete, and glass. What would be materials that are not in functionalism? That's what I want to know. Maybe instead of glass, they use grass. That would not be a very functional type of material. Maybe bubbles. Let's build a building out of bubbles. The principle, form follows function, is central to functionalist design, leading to open, flexible spaces and an honest expression of structure and materials. So, what's the purpose of the building? Let's make it work best for that purpose, that function. All right, that is functionalism in terms of architecture. Now we got number 3, a theory that stresses the interdependence of the patterns and institutions of a society and their interaction in maintaining cultural and social unity. What are we talking about? I don't understand. Stresses the interdependence of the patterns and institutions of a society. So what are the institutions in the society? What are the patterns that the society is doing all the time? And their interaction in maintaining cultural and social unity. Functionalism, we want everybody unity. We want everything to function well in a society, right? That's pretty much it. Number 4, a doctrine or practice that emphasizes practical utility or functional relations. Yeah, that's just what we're all talking about. The practical utility of a thing. What is its function? Let's make sure that it's being used in a practical way. When I'm given gifts or when I'm receiving gifts, maybe today on my birthday, I will receive some functional gifts. Gifts that are practical, that are worth something, that I can use in some way. Not tchotchkes, not gadgets, not just decorative stuff. What is the point of these little things? No, give me something functional that I can use to make a building out of glass and steel. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got functionalist. That is a noun. Functionalist or functionalistic. That is an adjective. And yes, functionalism is just we're thinking about how something is used, how it is in practical use and stuff like that. Clearly, I'm an expert now. All right. Functionality is next. Noun from 1871. This is the quality or state of being functional, especially the set of functions or capabilities associated with computer software or hardware or an electronic device. Is your electronic device functioning? Oh, I love it when all of my electronic devices are functional right now. Right now they are. Right now everything's working. The lights are working. The computer's working. That program is working. The camera's working. The mic is working. The recorder for the mic is working. Are those all the pieces that I'm using? Yep, I think I got them all. My brain is sometimes functional. Has functionality. That's what we're talking about. It has functionality. Okay, moving on to functional magnetic resonance imaging. 4 words. 4 words. Noun from 1989. This is magnetic resonance imaging used to detect physical changes as of blood flows in the brain resulting from increased neuronal activity of the neurons. It is called also functional MRI because magnetic resonance imaging is MRI, and also, I believe, it's just called fMRI. So what is the difference between a regular MRI and a functional MRI? Maybe, yeah, why are we using the word functional here? Magnetic resonance imaging used to detect physical changes. So is it like while the thing is functioning, while the body is functioning, doing a thing like the blood flowing to the brain, in that moment, while it is functioning, this fMRI can read that information, can see that information in that moment while it is doing its function. So let's just look up functional MRI versus MRI. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put them in a cage and have them fight. While both functional MRI and MRI utilize the same scanning technology, they serve different purposes. MRI primarily provides detailed structural images of the body's organs, tissues, and bones. Like I've had MRIs of my back. In contrast, fMRI focuses on brain function by measuring changes in blood flow and oxygenation, indicating which areas of the brain are active during specific tasks or at rest. Yes, it's all about how is the brain functioning while it is functioning, looking at that blood flow. Ooh, let's look at the blood flow of the brain. Do they use this on other parts of the body to see oxygenation and blood flow? Because that's happening all over the place. All right, fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, that's that one. Functional shift, 2 words. Noun from 1942. This is the process by which a word or form comes to be used in another grammatical function. Whoa, things have shifted. There has been an evolution. The way this word or phrase functioned is now different. It functions now in a new way because it shifted. It's functional shift. What's an example of that? Let's look that up. Let's get all the information we can. Okay, example. Not exam, okay. Example of functional shift. That's what I want. Let's see. What does the AI have to say? You know what? It just gives you a good starting point. It's also known as conversion or zero derivation. Is that accurate? I don't know. Word changes its grammatical function without changing its form. Common example is using the noun email as a verb, as in, I will email you the document. Because email is a noun, but now we use it as a verb also. Another example is using the verb to Google to mean searching on Google. Oh, good job, Google AI, for putting in your own thing in your thing. Let's see. Noun to verb. I need a paper to write on. Please paper the walls of the room. She bought a new bottle. He will bottle the wine. Are these just, so I guess that these changed at some point? Were they not original uses of the word, like paper and to paper? I don't know. This is an interesting one. Adjective to verb. Adjective. The soup is smooth. And then the verb is please smooth the wrinkles. Really? Are these actual examples of this functional shift? I don't know. We're going to move on to functionary. Noun from 1791. Number 1. One who serves in a certain function. You're a functionary. Number 2. One holding office in a government or political party. Yep, real good and clear. Function key. 2 words. Noun from circa 1964. Any of a set of keys on a computer keyboard that have or can be programmed to have special functions. Ooh, special functions. What's your function? Keyboards have these. A lot of cameras have these. It's like, I know some of our cameras at work have function 1, function 2, function 3, and they're usually say FN1, FN2, and you can program those buttons to be a whole variety of functions, of uses. If you want something quick at the ready, I'm going to program that function key to be this cool feature that I can't do anywhere else at the click of a button. But now I can with the function key. Thank you, function key. Let's do one more word for this episode. Function word. 2 words. Noun from 1940. A word as a preposition, auxiliary verb, or conjunction that expresses primarily a grammatical relationship. It is expressing a grammatical relationship. Well, you know what? Let's just go back to the thing so I can see an example of a function word. Not a functional word, a function word. This, by the way, is our last function entry in this book. Oh, let's see. Pronouns. These words replace nouns such as he, she, it, they, them, this, and that. All right, let's backtrack. Function words are words that primarily serve a grammatical purpose in a sentence rather than carrying significant meaning on their own. They help connect other words and express relationships between them. Examples are pronouns, determiners, conjunctions, prepositions, and auxiliary verbs. And yes, some of those were in here in this example. Determiners are the, a, an, this, that, these, and those. Conjunctions: and, but, or, so, for, nor, yet, because. You're conjoining parts of the word with these words. Prepositions: in, on, at, to, from, by, with. auxiliary verbs, also called helping verbs. Be, have, has, had, do, does, did. This is a fun game. Modals, can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would. And question words, who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are all the question words. All right. I guess all of those types of words and specific words are all function words because they have a function in the grammatical world. All right. Now. Let's pick a word of the episode. Today we had function, functional, functional calculus, functional food, functional genomics, functional group, functional illiterate, functionalism, functionality, functional magnetic resonance imaging, functional shift, functionary, function key, and function word. Function sounds great. Let's just pick functional magnetic resonance imaging because it's very long. Functional magnetic resonance imaging. It's what you do when you want to see how your brain is blood flowing. Nope, those aren't the right words. Functional magnetic resonance imaging. It's what you do when you want to see how the blood is flowing to the brain. All the brain blood. The brain's got blood. The blood is flowing around the brain. It's getting oxygenated and there's blood. That was a little song about functional magnetic resonance imaging. Okay, it's movie time, everybody. Everybody's favorite time. The next movie that we watched is Tangerine, right? Did I talk about this? Wait, I did. I put a little marker here. That means I must have talked about this. Why can't I remember? I think I do remember talking about this now. All right, well then let's move on to Together. We saw Together. We were together when we saw Together. Oh boy, this is a fun horror movie. Wow. It's ridiculous and it's funny at times and must have been very interesting for the two of them to do this movie together because they are married and they are playing a couple who's got some issues. And I think they've acted together before, but not like this. This is Allison Brie and Dave Franco, and we gotta call out the elephant in the room. There are accusations of them and the director, I guess he's the writer-director, and about them stealing the story from somebody else. And I believe that there are some legal things going on with that. I have heard a little bit, and it sounds like there are some oddly specific things between the two stories. And supposedly, the guy who is suing them claims that he had talked to maybe the writer-director beforehand who didn't want to make the movie, but then ended up making a movie that's shockingly similar. So, I don't really know how to feel about that, but with all that being said, I really enjoyed it. It's a very fun, ridiculous movie, and it goes there, and it's enjoyable, and it's fun, and they're together, happy together. All right, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking out this show, and until next time, this is Spencer, dispensing information on his birthday, but not really. Yay!